I was in the car the other day, getting a lift to my son's football game by one of my son's teammates' parents. And we were all in the car, and the radio was on, and I don't know what channel. I think it was Radio 1 actually, because I remember thinking, Jesus Christ. And they were having this discussion. I call it a discussion because it's people talking. I hesitate to use the word discussion because that implies some kind of intellectual content. But this was a discussion about whether jacket potatoes should be sides or meals on their own. This dinner jacket on the radio, she was talking about how she was saying that a friend of hers had sent or placed on Facebook or something like that, picture of her meal, and it was a steak with a jacket potato next to it. And she said it infuriated her. Oh, poor lamb. Poor sheltered lamb. It's a kitty. Hey, kitty. Hello, kitty. Hello, kitty girl. This is Edie, by the way. This is our cat, Edie. Hello, kitty cat. Yeah. Edie was my idea for a name. I insisted on naming the cat when we first got it, and that's like 10 years ago, something like that. Because I thought, Oedipus. I'm so fucking clever. Oedipus. Not that she reflects Oedipus in any sort of, behavioural way or anything like that, as far as I know. I don't know. I don't even know her dad. What was she saying? Mentioning it is one thing. Having a discussion about it on the fucking radio is another. This is broadcasting today. And I say today like it's got worse or something, but I don't think it has. I think they've always had discussions like this on the radio. And I think to myself, Jesus, the billions of things that I have to say, the amazing, humorous, insightful, intellectual, philosophical things that are going on in my brain every second. And they employ people to talk on the radio about jacket fucking potatoes. I'm being a little bit hypocritical here because I'm now talking about jacket potatoes in response to that. But those of you who are actually listening to what I'm saying, and I'm sure you all are because it's not difficult to grasp, is that, the jacket potato is the MacGuffin in this little video. The jacket potato isn't the subject. The subject is fucking people. Anyway, moving on from that, I don't want to dwell on that too much because that'll be just as bad as they were. I want to talk about, I've often said, you've heard me often saying in these videos how much I like the MCU. I really do. Part of the reason I sort of fell in love with the MCU, it was early on when I first saw the Avengers. That was when I sort of went, oh, they're doing something really special here. That's really special, taking on these different franchises and melding them. And then, of course, it went on with Ultron and eventually the whole Infinity Saga. And it was just like the most amazing achievement in cinema. One of the most unique and amazing achievements in cinema. DC have tried, bless them. But, the problem with DC is that they have Christopher Nolan, That's their big deficit, that's their problem. And do you know what I read the other day? Oh, I'd forgotten about this till just now. Oh, shit, I'm going to have to sit down. The other day I read that they're looking to establish directors in the MCU to try and pep it up a bit because it has kind of declined a bit. I mean, I'm still enjoying the stuff, the content, the Disney Plus shows and the films that are coming out. Like I said, I enjoyed the Marvels. And it was implied, although it hasn't been confirmed, that the MCU might bring Christopher Nolan in. That might be the end of my relationship with the MCU. And that's a big deal, I've had a relationship with them since Iron Man, which was 2008, I think. So that's 16 years. 16 years. I'm going to break it off with them. It's me or Christopher Nolan. That's my decree, MCU. If you're out there, Kevin Feige, if you're listening to this video, it's me or Chris Nolan. That's your fucking choice. But anyway, what I wanted to get on is what I think is the worst line in all of the MCU. And there's some bad lines in there, some great lines in there. And it struck me at the time and I kind of went, oh, did they really just do that? Did they really just do that? And it's flawed for several reasons. And the line is in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Is that right? The Multiverse of the second one anyway, the second Doctor Strange film. And Doctor Strange goes to see Wanda, goes to see the Scarlet Witch, and they're talking. And he's gone there to recruit her to help out with this America Chavez, who's able to jump multiverses. And they're walking along talking and it's nice and breezy and lovely and sunny and then she suddenly says she mentions America's name. She says, why don't you just bring America here or something like that, and then she pauses He goes, you didn't tell me her name was America, did you? And I'm afraid I nearly walked out of the fucking cinema at that point, because there's a film made in the 1970s called Sleuth. This is just an example of how bad that line is. There's a film in the 1970s called Sleuth, where one of the characters in it is a novelist, a detective novelist. And remember, this is the 70s. This is 50 years ago. And he mocks the idea of the detective catching out the criminal by the criminal revealing something that the detective hadn't told them. He mocks that in a film 50 years ago. Mocks that writing cliche in a film 50 years old. That's how bad that line is. Not only that, but Wanda can read minds. We know Wanda can read minds because she does it. She even says that she can read minds in Captain America Civil War. So it's perfectly plausible that she would know America's fucking name. So why was that such a big reveal? Especially since there are some lines in that film that are really brilliant. She talks about how every night she dreams about her children who she's lost. And she says, every night the same dream, every morning the same nightmare. And I thought, oh, that's beautiful. That's just beautifully put. You know, and it's got a line like that in it, and then it's got this, oh, I didn't say, oh, whoops. Whoops-a-daisy. I said America. Whoops-a-fucking-daisy. I mean, come on. Grow up. So abundantly appalling. I just had to mention it. You know what? I keep saying that I love films. I do love films. I love that film. And I didn't nearly walk out in the cinema because I didn't see it at the cinema. Oh no, I did. We went to the cinema to see that. There was a part of me that kind of... and it didn't ruin my viewing pleasure of the film, but it tainted it enough. But I'd forgotten it by the end of the film. The worst cinema experience I had with the MCU was when I went with my kids to see Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. And you might be thinking, oh, well, not surprised, that was shit. I didn't think it was shit. We really enjoyed it. What I liked about it was that it was starting to develop this idea of Kang, and we were starting to see who the new big villain was, and it was the first sort of proper big hint at where the new, Infinity Saga was going to be, and I liked it for that. So that wasn't why it was my bad cinema experience. The reason it was we went to see it on an afternoon. Unbeknownst to us, we had chosen a special showing that they do once a week. We just accidentally just happened to pick this once a week showing where they have subtitles, so that hearing impaired and deaf people can go see the film. And obviously I've got nothing against that. It's a brilliant idea. But it wasn't in any way indicated to us that it was with subtitles. And now I hate subtitles in films. I'm a slow reader because a lot of people sort of skim read. I don't. I read it word for word to such a point that I'm picking out spelling errors, grammatical inaccuracies, and mistakes and things. And I mean, I probably could skim stuff if I gave myself a chance to, but I don't give myself a chance to. I can't bring myself to do it. It's like when I send texts, it's all capital letters, full stops, commas. But anyway, the point is, that's why I can't stand subtitles in films, because I end up reading them. And for me, a film is an entire... it's why I love films, is because they contain everything. They've got visuals, they've got acting, they've got writing, they've got music, they can have dance, they can have... it's about pictures, about beautiful photography, it's about storytelling. But for me, I just find words on the screen, I cannot stop myself reading them, and it drives me fucking bonkers because I want to be watching what's happening on the screen. So, for the first, I got over it, I got used to it, but for the first half an hour, I was like, oh, fucking subtitles. And there was one point because my son at the time said, well, that kind of ruined the joke, where the punchline to a joke came up in the subtitles too early. It kind of ruined the timing of the joke. And I can't remember what the joke was now, but it was just kind of like, oh, let's just ruin the joke there. Thanks for that, Mr. Typey man. I'm gonna go now. My kids will be back soon. We're gonna have dinner tonight. We're gonna have. Can you guess where this is going? It's a callback. I do like callbacks, but I don't always go for them because sometimes they're a bit obvious. Like this one probably is. Gonna have what? We're gonna have steak with what on the side? No, we're not gonna have steak. We're gonna have sausage sandwiches with a jacket potato on the side.